Some people have the mentality that if they pray for something once, then they have done their duty and they can move on to something else. It is natural for humans to give up on a prayer request if we don't get an answer in a few days or weeks. Many times we find it hard to pray for the same thing more than once. The 18th chapter of Luke contains a parable which teaches us to be persistent in prayer. Many times praying once or twice is not enough. According to Luke 17:11, Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem, passing through Galilee and Samaria. He healed 10 lepers, but only one, a Samaritan, turned back and glorified God for his healing. Now let's start reading at Luke 17, verse 20. Now having been questioned by the Pharisees as to when the kingdom of God was coming, he answered them and said, "The kingdom of God is not coming with signs to be observed." Notice the Pharisees were the ones who asked about the coming of the kingdom. Their question is something that is often asked today. People want to know when the end times will take place. Verse 21. Nor will they say, "Look here or there, for behold, the kingdom of God is in your midst." Look at the last sentence of verse 21. Jesus said the kingdom of God was in their midst. Jesus is God. In the 1st century AD, God himself lived on earth among men. Verse 22. And he said to the disciples, "The days will come when you will long to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and you will not see it." Jesus knew he would eventually go back to heaven, and God would no longer be living on earth among men. After that, the disciples would long for the days when Jesus was on earth. Verse 23. And they will say to you, "Look there, look here." Do not go away, and do not run after them. Jesus warned his disciples not to be susceptible to every rumor. Today, many people want Jesus to return. That is understandable and commendable. However, there are many rumors and false teachings about when Jesus will return. We need to be discerning and not fall victim to all the rumors and false beliefs. Verse 24. For just like the lightning, when it flashes out of one part of the sky, shines to the other part of the sky, so will the Son of Man be in his day. But first he must suffer many things and be rejected by this generation. And just as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be also in the days of the Son of Man. They were eating, they were drinking, they were marrying, they were being given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. In the days of Noah, life continued as normal up until the day the flood came. Likewise, life will continue as normal up until the day Jesus comes back. This means there will be no warning. Life will not drastically change before his coming and give us advance warning that something big is about to happen. Verse 28. It was the same as in the days of Lot. They were eating, they were drinking, they were buying, they were selling, they were planting, they were building. But on the day that Lot went out from Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. The same was true of Sodom. The society of Sodom did not stop or change and alert the Sodomites that something big was about to happen. Verse 30. It will be just the same on the day that the Son of Man is revealed. On that day, the one who is on the housetop and whose goods are in the house must not go down to take them out, and likewise the one who is in the field must not turn back. Jesus told his disciples not to try and take anything with them when the Son of Man is revealed. That means they will have to trust that God will provide everything they need. Verse 32. Remember Lot's wife. The account of Lot's wife is found in Genesis 19. Yahweh was about to destroy Sodom because of its sin, but since Lot was righteous, Yahweh allowed Lot and his family to leave Sodom before the destruction. The angel told Lot and his family to flee and not look back. However, Lot's wife looked back and she turned into a pillar of salt. The Bible doesn't specifically say why she looked back, but we can assume she did not want to leave behind that which she knew and what was comfortable to her, even though it was a sinful environment. Part of this was a matter of faith and trust. Lot was told to flee, but he had no way to support himself. He had to trust God to provide. Perhaps Lot's wife doubted their needs would be provided. Many people in the 21st century live in very sinful societies. Unfortunately, many Christians have become comfortable with and accepting of the sin. What would happen if God told us to flee because he was about to destroy our society? Would we look back, as Lot's wife did, and be reluctant to leave the known? Or would we do what Lot was told to do and leave everything behind? If God told us to flee, would we have faith that he would supply our needs? Verse 33. Whoever seeks to keep his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life will preserve it. Lot's wife tried to preserve her life, but she lost it instead. Verse 34. I tell you, on that night there will be two in one bed, one will be taken and the other will be left. There will be two women grinding grain at the same place, one will be taken and the other will be left. Two men will be in the field, one will be taken and the other will be left. In answering, they said to him, Where, Lord? And he said to them, Where the body is, there also the vultures will be gathered. Now he was telling them a parable to show that at all times they ought to pray and not to lose heart. This verse tells us the lesson of the parable that is coming in the following verses. We should be persistent in our prayers. Verse 2. Saying, In a certain city there was a certain judge who did not fear God and did not respect man. Now there was a widow in that city, and she kept coming to him, saying, Give me justice from my opponent. And for a while he was unwilling, but afterward he said to himself, Even though I do not fear God nor respect man, yet because this widow is bothering me, I will give her justice, lest by continually coming she wears me out. The widow got what she needed because she kept asking. She asked over and over again. She was persistent. Verse 6. And the Lord said, Hear what the unjust judge said. Now, will not God bring about justice for his elect, who cry to him day and night, and will he delay long over them? In verse 1, we saw the purpose of this parable is to teach us about prayer. We need to be persistent in prayer. Some people have the mentality that if they pray for something once, then they have done their duty, and they can move on to something else. However, Jesus taught that we should pray for the same thing over and over again. That is difficult and boring, but we should do it anyway because Jesus taught us to pray persistently. Verse 8. I tell you that he will bring about justice for them quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? Notice the last question. Will Jesus find faith on the earth when he comes back? Will he find people who prayed for the same thing over and over again for 5 years, 10 years, or perhaps even longer? It is natural for humans to give up on a prayer request if we don't get an answer in a few days or weeks. Many times we find it hard to pray for the same thing more than once. Jesus used the judge to illustrate that we should pray persistently. Praying for something once or twice is not enough. Nor is it enough sometimes to pray for something for a year. If we truly believe in something and want something, we should be willing to pray over and over again, perhaps for years or decades, until we receive our request. Thanks for visiting Bible Mountain. If you have already joined my email list, thank you and please tell others about Bible Mountain. If you have not joined my email list yet, please do so now. In order to join, go to BibleMountain.com, click on subscribe, and that will take you to a page where you can sign up. Your email address will not be sold nor given away. Once again, thanks for visiting Bible Mountain.